It hadn't been easy for the crew to hoist the heavy thing on board. Jack was exhausted just from leaning against the deck, pointing his index finger here and there to direct the crew in carrying and placement of the vault. The well-worn wooden slats of the deck strained under the vault's considerable weight. Once it was placed to his liking, Jack carefully reached inside and took out the spoils of their crime. A single coin. The rest had fallen out during the chase. The crew glared at him. "I told you robbing a bank would be easy," Jack said breezily. For it was true, they had robbed the bank with great success. That the gold was no longer inside the vault was a technicality. "Now line up to offer your tribute, men." Marty put his fists on his hips and cocked his bald head. "You want us to pay you?" he asked. "We want our treasure, Captain. The treasure you've been promising us all these years." "All of us are starving," Pike said mournfully. "Yesterday we ate a rat." "We will no longer follow a captain without a ship," Bollard exclaimed, planting his feet wide and gesturing to the ramshackle boat they stood on, more a barge than a ship, and one that happened to be beached on a thin strip of land. Jack sniffed. Insulted. The Dying Gull was a little worse for wear, but it was seaworthy, or it would be as soon as the crew patched it up. And besides, Jack had a grand vessel as well, the greatest ship of all that travelled the high seas. "I have a ship, gentlemen," he said dramatically, opening his coat and reaching in. "The Black Pearl has never left my side." Jack pulled out a glass bottle and held it up high. Inside, the Black Pearl rested, a fraction of its original size. Pike leaned back, unimpressed. "The pirate Barbossa rules these seas now," he said. "He has 10 ships, guns full." The rest of the crew began to grumble as well and head toward the gangplank. "Wait," said Jack, holding up his hand to stop them from leaving. "Did we not find the treasure of Macedonia together?" Gibbs looked up and sighed. "It was a trove of rotted wood." Jack tried again. "But the gold of King Midas was a steaming pile of cow dung," finished Scrum, the scene still fresh in his mind. "Face it, Jack," Gibbs said, his expression sad. "Bad luck follows you day and night." "Bad luck? Ridiculous," Jack blustered, just as a passing seagull deposited its droppings on his shoulder. "We know you fear your own sword," Scrum spoke, "that you believe it's cursed, with the intention of slitting your throat." Jack grimaced. They had a point there. The sword seemed to have a mind of its own, a mind that hated him. He sauntered over to the dreaded weapon, picked it up, and flung it into the sea, as if it were a piece of stale bread. "Problem solved," he said, brushing off his hands on his breeches. His attempt to assume a cool, casual attitude did not fool his men. They knew him too well. "You've lost your luck, your ship, and now your crew," said Marty. Unwilling to follow Jack any longer, the men trumped away. Gibbs was the last to go, gazing at Jack regretfully. "Sir," the grizzled man said, "I'm afraid we've reached the end of the horizon." Jack looked down at his compass, which was pointing out to sea. "They're wrong, Gibbs," he replied. "I am still Captain Jack Sparrow." "If you say so, Jack." Gibbs fiddled with his cap. "Good luck." Jack's face twisted in a sneer, and he flounced to the far side of the boat, not wanting to watch his men abandon him. He set the bottle on the rail and squatted down until the Black Pearl looked like it was resting on the edge of the sea. His men lacked vision, but Jack could see it. The Pearl would sail again, and he would be, as ever, its captain. The military hospital of St. Martin was bustling with activity. Soldiers lay with varying degrees of injury, their moans and cries filling the air, summoning nuns to their sides. Henry Turner winced at a twinge in his neck as he slowly awoke, startled by the strange sounds and smells around him. Then 3 soldiers loomed over him, one of them wearing the stripes of a lieutenant. Officer Scarfield twisted his hands tightly around the bed rail. "The whole town speaks of you, the only survivor of the Monarch," he said, his voice cool. "A boy who paddled all the way to St. Martin on a piece of driftwood and was found jabbering about pirates and tridents." Henry tried to sit up, but heavy shackles trapped him firmly to the bed. "Sir, release me from these chains. I have to find Captain Jack Sparrow," Henry pleaded.